Yeah, you hear this? Meek Mill! Meek is free! He was there at the 76ers last night. Watch the 76ers, watch the process advance to the second round in the Eastern Conference playoffs. So the process living up to his name, I guess. Process had some terrible seasons, which all led up to this. Led up to them being in the second round, potential Eastern Conference champions. Who would have thought? Who would have thought this would happen?
The argument can definitely be made that they could come out of the East. I mean, they handled the Heat, like we said, they own the third and fourth quarter. They own the second half. They're a second half team. They got veteran leadership on that team, which, keeps the young guys in check because they got, Bellinelli and
they got Bellinelli, JJ Redick, which has turned out to be a deadly duo.
Yes.
When they get hot. The thing is, you say this a lot on the Spurs. They play together. This is a team that's so unselfish. You rarely see too many selfish players like, oh man, he shouldn't have.
Especially with guys that are that good and that young.
Mm-hmm. Like you would think that Joel Embiid would have been the most selfish out of all them.
Him and Simmons both, I would have put money on.
You would have thought, man, they need to get the ball up. But no, the one thing you can talk about Joel Embiid being a little bit arrogant and being a little overactive. You can talk about Ben Simmons being too young, but you can't talk about them being selfish.
No,
they're not. They are team players to the core. This is a group that is fun to watch because they believe in each other.
Yeah. Perfect example in the closeout game. Who had the most shots with how many, would you say?
I would have said that Embiid would have tried to force the issue a little bit.
Embiid led them in shots with only 14. That is team
wow.
Play. They had, 81 shots, and the top shot taker was 14. That's team ball.
That's good basketball. Greg Popovich would love this team. He maybe a little bit with the little arrogance and processing. He probably hate that. But in terms of how they play ball together, Greg Popovich, who we all know is a coach that coaches team basketball, make sure that nobody has the ball for longer than 3 seconds. Make sure you get the best open shot. Make sure you get the best shot. Make sure you play defense because that's another I guess you could say underrated. I don't even know if that's underrated anymore. But underrated thing about
people just don't do it.
Right. Greg Popovich would love this team, and right now they're doing what the Spurs could have been doing had Kawhi Leonard spoke up a little bit, but that's Western Conference team. They're out. The 76ers are in. They're
76ers 27 assists on 34
which is great. That's great.
Awesome.
That's a stat I'm happy for. And so they will face the winner of Boston Milwaukee. I'm hoping Boston, like I said, as the series be a defensive matchup. Horford versus Embiid would be very good.
Yeah.
Because Horford, I feel like, is the leader of that team in terms of his intelligence, basketball IQ, in terms of making the right play, making the right adjustments. I feel like he's a veteran leader that goes under the radar as well.
Absolutely.
And so if that's the series we get, that's cool. If we get Johnson Antetokounmpo against the 76, that would be cool too.
Yeah. I think either way, it's a good series.
It's a good series.
If you had to put it, let's say $100 down right now. The winner of that series against the Sixers, who are you taking?
I'm taking the Sixers.
Agreed.
I'm taking the Sixers. One more firepower, more star players. Nobody injured. I would rather see them play the Celtics just because I feel like that series could at least go 6. I think Milwaukee will only go 5.
Well, the most underrated thing about the Sixers last night too was Fultz didn't play.
Ooh, yeah, that is a good point. So but at the same time, you see the Sixers is still.
Oh yeah,
it's still a force to be reckoned with without it.
We had the discussion a couple weeks ago, and I said you could make the argument the Sixers might come out of the East. You know what? That statement's looking a lot more.
It's looking pretty good. I don't know. It depends on if the Cleveland Cavaliers, which I'm going to get to right now, if the Cleveland Cavaliers don't make it past the Indiana Pacers,
LeBron's gone.
First of all, LeBron's gone. Yeah, I think he's going regardless, unless they win a championship.
If they don't win a championship. He's gone.
LeBron's out of here. That's first and foremost.
Right now, I would put down $100 if I had to that the Cavs do not come out of the East.
Wow. You don't believe they can come out the East? I still believe that if they could win this series against Indiana, they could come out the East.
I don't, because of the fact of it takes a super heroic effort by LeBron and all the cast-offs to even make these games, because Indiana is dominating the series without LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
This series is over if LeBron doesn't play Superman.
It's very true, but also what I saw at the end of Game 4, and that was really concerning to me, is the fact that the last 5 minutes, that was some of the worst offensive basketball I've seen from the Pacers. from any team in a while.
Absolutely.
That looked like when the Bulls used to. That looked like when the Bulls used to be in the playoffs with the Tom Thibodeau era Bulls. Last 5 minutes against great teams like that, where guys just take some wild. What are you doing? What kind of offense is this type of shots? In that, in my opinion, is very telling of how this series might actually go at this point. The fact that the Pacers might get a little bit big-headed. They might do the same thing that Oklahoma City is doing. It just takes some heat check early in the shot clock, hand in your face. I hit this shot before, I can hit it again instead of running an offense-type shot.
So you're worried they're going to play hero ball?
Yeah. I feel that could end up costing them, and that could end up putting the Cavaliers, make them win the next 2 games.
Yeah. The big thing for me was Oladipo was 5 of 20 in Game 4. He's not going to shoot that bad again. I mean, he's been pretty consistent this series.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done very well this series. He's rebounding. He's making the passes he has to. Right now, I'll take the Pacers to win the series. I know I picked the Cavs in the beginning. I'm not sold on LeBron. I mean, go through that Cavs roster. Besides LeBron James, who scares you?
Nobody's scared. LeBron James scares me. That's all you need. Unfortunately for the Cavaliers, that's all you got. But fortunately for the Cavaliers, that's all you need.
No, and I agree, but I mean, LeBron's had to have a triple-double or just about a triple-double in both wins. If he's not getting 15 rebounds and 15 assists, they lose.
If he's not getting 30, they lose.
30, 15, and 15, and they win.
They barely scrape out. The only thing is the fact LeBron James has proven that he can still do that. The only question about LeBron James is how long he can continue to do that without getting tired or without getting gassed. And those 30s go to 25 points. And those efficient shooting numbers get more and more inefficient throughout the playoffs. That's the only question about LeBron James I really have about it.
Yeah.
In terms of his talent level, can he continue to provide 30, 15, and 15? Yes, he can, because
he's
LeBron
been in the
James
finals how many straight years?
He's been since 2011, right?
I think so.
Yes.
We all know Father Time's undefeated. Sooner or later, he's going to break down.
He's going to break down, which is why I don't think he's going to win the NBA championship by any means. Not just because the Warriors, who I feel is more than likely to make it to the NBA finals.
Oh, absolutely.
I just don't see this team. They might get swept. This Cavaliers team might end up getting swept by the Golden State Warriors.
If let's go with the hypothetical, they make the finals against the Warriors, no game will be close. No game will be close.
I think the only game last year's final was that game that they won when they won 4-1 that series, correct?
Yeah.
Because game 1 and 2 was dominated. Game 3. They almost got swept. They won game 4 because everybody's going hot that game. They won game because game 3 was the Kevin Durant game winner with that 3 in LeBron James' face. But for the most part, that series wasn't even close. This one's going to be even worse than that.
Who needs this win more tonight, Indiana or Cleveland?
Indiana.
You think this is must win for?
It's must win for Indiana.
I almost feel like it's must win for both sides.
Of course. I mean, obviously it is.
No, but I mean, not just because of the statistic that says, what is it, like 75% if you win Game 5 at a 2-2 series. It's the fact of Cleveland gets down 3-2. I don't think they're beating Indiana 2 straight. They haven't done it yet, exactly. And I don't buy into them.
I just don't buy into Indiana. First of all, Cleveland's not necessarily the hardest place in the world to win at.
No,
they don't have any.
It never has been. The Quicken Loans Arena. That's not a hard arena to win at. What makes it hard is they got LeBron James.
Yeah.
That's the end of that story.
But I don't know. I just feel like this team might get super deflated. The Indiana Pacers might get super deflated if they end up losing game 5.
I could see that. And would Cleveland almost quit if they get down 3-2 just because of the fact of they know LeBron's gone? Because even if
that's a very big possibility.
Cleveland may just roll over and die if they lose tonight.
I feel it's like the way you feel about Cleveland, the way I feel about Indiana.
But you know what? I mean, it's a legit argument for both sides.
It is
because of the fact of, do you honestly buy either team advancing?
No.
I don't buy either team advancing past where they're at right now. But it's been a good series. But I see both teams just roll over and dying if they lose tonight. Whoever loses, I expect to lose Game 6.
I agree. I absolutely agree with that. But if LeBron James does make it, I feel like this is the toughest task. Indiana always plays LeBron James tough anyway, even when he was in Miami. When the Paul George
Lance
era.
Stevenson is his kryptonite.
I
Maybe not.
I wouldn't call it kryptonite.
Well, Lance Stevenson that frustrates him is, I guess, the better way to put it.
But you see, his antics has cost the Pacers Game 4 too.
Yeah.
With that foul and him trying to play UFC rather than playing basketball, and it's a lot of question marks with this series, man. Whoever comes out of this series, if whoever should not be proud of how they played these past 4 games.
I'll tell you what, put the teams on a dartboard and throw a dart while it's spinning, and that's who you pick for tonight, because you got about that good of a chance.